Thank you, Mike, and hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here on this absolutely exciting occasion. I am thrilled to join in the introduction of OSU's new head football coach, JaMarcus Shephard. Coach Shephard, on behalf of our wonderful university, our entire OSU community, and Beaver Nation, I want to welcome you and your family to OSU. Welcome. And thank you, Scott. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for all the hard work that you put in, along with your search committee, in making this amazing hire happen. Thank you. And I also want to thank DHR Global. I know you guys are here. Hi. Yeah, thank you for your guidance and all your help in making this great hire happen. Now, Coach Shephard is going to be OSU's 33rd head football coach. And I can tell you that this is already energizing Beaver Nation. I can see it online. I can see it with every single person that I've ever talked to. There's so much excitement and so much hope that's riding on you, Coach Shephard. You've got an amazing background, an extensive background with some of the country's most competitive programs. And so I know that you will provide a strong foundation for OSU as we reestablish our winning traditions. We've got so much good stuff coming on. We've got the new Pac-12 that's taking shape, and we'll be looking to you for leadership in just making that the best football conference in town. Now, what I do know is that Coach Shephard goes beyond wins and losses in his commitment to student athletes and their excellence and their success. I've seen his high enthusiasm, just infectious energy in the room, and his high standards, and I have every confidence that he's going to be inspiring all of us, our students, our student athletes, and indeed all of us here at OSU. And I will tell you that what resonates with me is his relentless pursuit of improvement and of excellence, and that's an amazing message to be giving our students. I don't know if you guys read all of the coverage on Coach Shephard. I was reading John Canzano's remarks, his article this morning. I found that incredibly moving, all right? I mean, just your life story is so inspiring. It absolutely resonates with what OSU is all about, what we want our students to take away from their time at OSU, and I know it inspires every single one of us. So I am so looking forward to next year's football season. I have absolutely no doubt that Reza Stadium will be rocking with energy and with all the chainsawing and the buzzing and all of that. And I am so looking forward to our home opener against Texas Tech on September 12th. It's a good 9 months away, but I can feel my energy and enthusiasm already. So congratulations, Coach Shephard. Once again, we are all thrilled to welcome you, Hallie, and your family to Corvallis and to Beaver Nation. So thank you, and go Beavs!
Thank you, President Murthy. I think JaMarcus knows, too, that 2 years ago he was very close to getting beaten in this stadium. Really close, right, Coach? You understand that. I know he does. We're going to learn a lot from Coach Shephard here in a few minutes. But as President Murthy has said, so many people in this room and elsewhere who have made this day possible. But the leader in all of that, again, and he's had a little bit on his plate here the last couple of years, as I think you well appreciate. But the work of the committee, the search firm, and all of the people in the conversations have led us to this day. But the man who helped lead us to this day, we look forward to hearing from him, and then he'll bring up our new head football coach. But it's my honor to introduce Vice President and Director of Athletics, Scott Barnes.
Speaking of that chainsaw, JT, I was just talking to JaMarcus. He absolutely hated that chainsaw, and now he's going to learn to love it for sure, right? It is a great day to be a Beaver, and want to send out thanks first and foremost to President Murthy for your leadership and your support of our student athletes. Appreciate you so much. Thank you to the committee. We've got a committee member or two here. Thank you for your commitment to the process and your grind to get this done. We appreciate you so much. And yes, to DHR Global, Glenn Sugiyama, Dan Guerrero, thank you for being here, and thank you for stewarding this process and being such a wonderful resource to get us to the finish line in this. So, what were we looking for in our new head coach? Integrity, character, work ethic, obviously, and leadership capacity were all cornerstones in our pursuit. We wanted a winner, somebody that affected winning and affected change and knew what winning looked like. Wanted a track record for recruiting success at a high level, particularly in this era of NIL and rev share. Familiarity to the West Coast was something that was a bonus if we could find it. And someone who could command the enterprise as a CEO and cast a bold vision for a successful program. Also, I wanted a partner, someone who I could lock arms with to help rebuild this program to the success it deserves, winning championships, and ultimately a berth to a CFP playoff in this new era, particularly of the Pac-12 Conference. JaMarcus Shephard checked the box in all of these areas. And in fact, as we move forward through the process and narrowed down to JaMarcus, I made several calls to friends and colleagues in the industry, folks at USC, at University of Washington, at Nebraska, at Alabama, and other places. And as I talked to them about JaMarcus, they leaned in hard on the person he was rather than the accomplishments he had. But of all those, perhaps the most telling endorsement I received was from a woman named Joan Augenbaugh, who was his middle school teacher. Now, I'm at a press conference introducing my coach. You think I'm going to read a letter from his middle school teacher? You're damn right. I am. And here's what she said. I just want to reach out and congratulate you on the hiring of one of the most amazing students I've ever had in my 33 years of teaching. I had JaMarcus when I first started my teaching career. He has that joy about him, always the smile. I'm so happy for him. He has always worked so hard for everything he has and everything that he has achieved. He didn't have a lot when he was growing up. He never let that stop him. He never made excuses. He just worked harder than the next person. I know you found those same qualities since you've hired him. I know he will work hard for you and your school and your student athletes. You found a special guy to be your head coach. Folks, it doesn't get any more real or honest than having an unsolicited letter from your middle school teacher. And that's who JaMarcus is. So let me double down. Who did we hire? We know the experience. We know the accomplishments. But let me tell you what I've learned and what I've witnessed in just a short time I've been around JaMarcus. JaMarcus is a developer of young men, a coach who will demand discipline, whether it's in the classroom or on the field of play or the weight room. He will earn the trust and respect of his student athletes, and he will sincerely care about the players that he coaches in every area and every aspect of their lives. He will recruit at an elite level, and he will be exceptional in hiring the right staff to get this program back to the top quickly and in the right way. So JaMarcus is here with his lovely family today, and I'd like to welcome his wife Hallie, his son Jalen, and his two daughters Ilana and Malia. Could you stand? Could you stand? Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the Beaver family. And with that, I'd like to introduce to you our 33rd head coach of this historic and storied program. Please welcome your new leader, JaMarcus Shephard.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Wow. 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 How about that? A lot of things said right there, and truly appreciate everyone being here today. Great opportunity for me and my family to be here and enjoy you all. And so I want to start off with a few thank yous, and I want to start right away with my family. Malia, thank you for every day when I walk into the building, into our house, you embracing me with the level of love and attention to detail that I can truly say I'm honored to be your father because you jump into my arms every single day, okay? Alana, thank you for taking me through the interview process, okay? Alana had interview questions for me, and she strongly critiqued every one of my responses, and I just thank you for your heart and your dedication to all things that you do, okay? Jalen, thank you for expressing that you want to be like me, and that to me, it tells me that I'm doing my part as a father, and I tell our players all the time, I want my son to want to wear your number one day because that tells me that he wants to be like you as well. So thank you for letting me have that feeling. And then to my lovely wife, Hallie, oh my goodness, the words can't express the level of love that I have for you, the level of appreciation that I have for you. You support me in every single way that a husband could want his wife to support him. You support me emotionally. You support me mentally. You support me spiritually. You support me in every way that I could possibly need a partner. And you take care of this family in a way that most don't get to see. They don't understand what you go through. And but you also take care of me. And I just want to thank you for always having your loving heart for us, okay? I also want to thank our president of our university, President Murthy. President Murthy, just thank you for your leadership in making this opportunity happen for me and my family. What I've learned about you is that you are a competitor, and you want to compete in all things that we're going to do here at Oregon State University. I think they've even honored you as one of the most important leaders in engineering across this world. And so the standard that you have set for this university, I want to follow right in those footsteps and be able to lock arms with you and build this program, this football program, to parallel with the level of success that you've created for yourself in this university. So I want to thank you for that. Also want to thank Scott Barnes, our athletic director. And I just want you all to know that I am prepared to lock arms with Scott. He has been so forthcoming throughout this process and giving me all the information that I needed to make this a place for me and my family, a home for us. He really, truly has shown his belief in me and what I can potentially do here at Oregon State University. And the fact of the matter is we're going to do it together. We are certainly going to lock arms and ensure that we are on the same page. And that's one of the most key ingredients in deciding to come to Oregon State University. It was the alignment. And I did see the alignment between our president, our athletic director, and everybody else within the athletic department. And so super excited to be a part of that alignment. I'll get in line and be a part of that every step of the way. I talked to our team and our coaches about having a low ego but having high output. Everyone has an ego. Every one of us does. And we got to try to suppress it as much as we can and have high output, okay? And that's what I will do as your head football coach. I also wanted to thank Glenn Sugiyama and Mr. Guerrero for their search and giving me this opportunity. I know that there were a number of other individuals who wanted to be here, but I wanted to be here worse, okay? I called as soon as the opportunity came available and spoke with some folks about what this particular opportunity meant, and I think that them knowing that I had the level of interest in this opportunity aided in this process, and they did their research and called everybody, and I'm getting calls from everybody else saying, hey, I think you got a shot. And I didn't just want a shot, I wanted to be at Oregon State University, okay? And thank you for giving me that. There's a couple other folks I really want to thank, and that's Mike, Riley, Joth, Marty, Nikki, John, and Brandon. They were all integral as a part of the search committee that was making the decision or helping to make the decision for me to be a part of this. What I want to thank them for is they had unwavering support in me the entire time. Throughout the entire process, it seemed like they knew who their guy was right away, and I just didn't want to disappoint them, and that's really what it was in going through the process. I didn't want to disappoint them, and now I definitely don't want to disappoint them now that I'm here. So I'll do my part. Brandon was on the phone with me frequently through text messages and phone calls, and I just appreciate them giving me a vision of what Oregon State is currently, and then listening to my vision of what it's going to be, and being in full support of that. I know I got a lot of people to thank, but also Pat Reeser. I had a chance to speak with Pat last night. She's down in Mexico right now with her husband, and I'll tell you what, she's so full of life and was so excited and told me that she's a hugger, and so I look forward to the opportunity to get a hug from her. But what I loved about her is this. You know what? Everyone else across the country looks at Oregon State University as this blue-collar program, and I don't know that she really thinks of it that way. She thinks of it as a program of excellence, a program that has standards and can reach excellence in all aspects of the university, and I felt the same sentiment, okay? All right? We want to achieve excellence in everything that we do, okay? All right? Because I believe this, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if we're excellent in the engineering department, if we're excellent in the business department, okay, we need to be excellent on that football field, and we also need to be excellent on the soccer field. We need to be excellent in all things that we do because, again, how you do anything is how you do everything, and we are all a part of creating the culture here at Oregon State University. I've had a chance now to meet with many of our players at this point, and there's an overwhelming theme in terms of what this program needs and desires, and that is a level of discipline, okay? For all the smiles and all the laughs and who I am, discipline is what has allowed me to be in this space with you right now. I had to discipline myself when growing up, things around me weren't going in a great direction to provide me with everything that I needed in order to see what my future could be. And so throughout that time, I just knew that I wanted something different. I wanted something special with my life. And that's what coming to Oregon State is. I wanted something different and something special, an opportunity to build. And that's what I think we have here. We have a chance to build, all right? And each one of us has to take our different blocks and set them next to each other. All right, I want all of our building blocks put next to each other, all right? And those building blocks need to talk to one another and communicate with one another and spend time with one another, okay? All right, I already talked to some of the head coaches here at Oregon State, and I've already told them, me and my wife are gonna set up an event to have all the head coaches here come on over to the house with their significant others and spend time with them, okay? Because I want all those building blocks put together, all right, so we can build a new foundation and continue rising, especially with this football program. When I think about the words that are coming from talking to these players, they talked about embrace. All right, it's a key component to any athletic team, but any team at all. You want to embrace one another. All right, when you talk about community, my wife and I and our family will be engaged in the community frequently. And do not hesitate to come up and say hello to us. I truly appreciate the opportunity to engage with you, with everyone involved in Beaver community, okay? But also, we're also going to be involved in, we've done Easter egg hunts at our house, okay, where we've had the kids in the neighborhood come over and, you know what, if you found a golden egg, you actually got a bike, okay, which is always it was always fun for the kid. Again, something that I experienced growing up as a kid. That's how I got my first bike, because we couldn't afford one, okay? You don't know what every other person is going through, so you want to engage the community. You're also talking about the alumni. That's when you're talking about engagement. Let me tell you right now, all the alumni, get your butt back here. All right? I want you back here. I want you on the sidelines, okay? I want you engaging with our players. I want you sitting in meetings, okay? I want you sitting in my office talking to me about your experience here at Oregon State and how we can mirror that, all right, or how we can enhance that experience for our current student athletes. We want this to be the greatest experience in their lives as student athletes here at Oregon State. And guess what? I had a great experience when I went to college, so I want to impart that same thing on our student athletes. But also this, excitement. That is a word that came up. All right, our players are super excited about the new direction of the football team, okay? Not that they were disengaged before, but this is an opportunity for them to reset. Every one of them wants this opportunity to reset and create a new opportunity for them to create value for themselves. And I think that we can do that here. And that's what it is. They have to create value for themselves. In this new age of NIL, okay, sometimes people want things just to be given to them, okay? All right? We're not going to be that outfit, okay? We're going to be a group that earns what we're given, okay? We're going to be excited about earning what we're given, okay? Because in my experience, the best things that you have earned in life are because you earned them, not because someone gave it to you, okay? So our players will be engaged in that thinking. Additionally, all right, new beginnings, okay? I feel like this is obviously a new beginning for me. As a first-time head football coach, this is my opportunity to learn and engage in this process. But also I think it parallels with Oregon State University and athletics. New beginnings in the new Pac-12. How we can go about competing in that new Pac-12, okay? All right, how we can compete in this NIL age and the transfer portal age. We're going to be able to do this side by side, and I look forward to that experience. Last but not least, these are really my goals as a football program. We will win the Pac-12 championship and a bowl game with class, integrity, and academic excellence. That is what we will do here, okay? When you talk about class, it's the way that you're treating other people, okay? All right? You want to engage in others. When I think about that, I think about Miss Ida. Miss Ida is our lunch aide in our cafeteria, okay? All right, back at the place that I was at before. And she, amazing human being who always spoke your name when you walked into the building, all right? And she had told me that she had not been to an Alabama football game at that time before, and we as a family decided to give her tickets so that she could attend her first Alabama football game. That's the type of engagement that you want to have. You know, even Miss Tina, who cleaned our offices, you know what? Her husband is going through traumatic health issues right now. And certainly she would sit down in my office and we would engage with one another and talk about how she's having to lift him up into his wheelchair and things of that nature, all right, to aid in his recovery. And so I want to make sure that our players have great class in terms of how they're dealing with other people. Integrity, hey, it's what you're doing when nobody's looking, okay? All right, you want to have great integrity, okay? And that's a big piece of how you build a winning football team. They have to be doing the extra things when no one else is looking. Everybody in the country, just so you know, everyone lifts weights, okay? Everyone does, okay? I need to lift a few more weights, okay? But Everyone has nutrition, okay? Everyone has a great athletic department or athletic training department. Everyone has those bare minimum things that you need to have a football team. Now, what are you doing when no one else is looking? That's what's the difference between what we have now and what we will have later. But then when you talk about academic excellence, most people don't know this about me. I did not go to college on a full-ride athletic scholarship. I went to Eli Lilly provided a scholarship that was academic based, and so that's how I ended up going to school, okay? And then I also ended up going and getting my master's degree with a 4.0 GPA, okay? I was a graduate student of the year at my university, okay? Academics have always been important to me. It is something that I have cherished. It is the reason why I'm here. It is why I'm here. I did great in the classroom, and it gave me an opportunity to go ahead and get a degree that was meaningful and allowed me to be a part of spaces that you never knew you would get a chance to be a part of. I tell my players all the time, okay, that's one thing they can never take away from you is your education, okay? But I'll tell you this, the culture here will be contagious, okay, all right? I am a person who inspires, all right, but also invites people to set their goals, all right? That is what leadership is all about. You have to not only inspire them, but invite them to set their goals, but also go after them and to try to achieve those goals. And that's what we will continue to do here at Oregon State University, okay? But the 4 pillars of this program will be develop academic success, okay? We'll also make sure we have success athletically. They're going to grow socially, okay? One thing I don't want to do is lock up our best players and not let them experience the college life, okay? I want them to experience it because if you do that now, when you let them leave the campus, they won't know how to conduct themselves. So I want them to know how to conduct themselves here on campus, but also growing spiritually. Those things are important to me for each one of the young men that we are engaging with. This allows them to experience life after football in a great way, okay? This is the last thing I really wanted to say, okay? I wanted to thank really all the players that came before. I want to thank Rondell Moore, David Bell, Milton Wright, Roma Dunze, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk, Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Latsier Brooks, Isaiah Horton. I want to thank all these men for allowing me to coach them. They allowed me to instill my vision in them, and because they have put my vision on the field, that's why I'm here at Oregon State University as your head football coach. And so I just want to thank them. But I also want to thank the Jackson Anthrops. Those are young men that you guys have no idea who that might be. Mason Wheeler. Okay, my wife is laughing because she knows. Okay? All right, Jackson Gerard. These are young men who rarely got a chance to see the field, but also take on that same vision and is instilling it in their own lives right now. Guys, I will engage with every single player that is involved in this program in a way that they will take the lessons learned here onto their future lives, their future professions. I will do that in a way that is special. And I just want to thank you all for allowing me to be here as your head football coach. And last but not least, go Beavs.
We're going to open up to questions. We're going to open up to questions. Please state your name, your affiliation, and who you're asking the question to with the mic.
Coach Shephard, Ryan Clark, the Oregonian, great to meet you.
Hey, great to meet you too, Ryan. Thank you for being here today.
Sure, welcome to Corvallis. During the hiring process, it was reported that you pushed hard for a general manager, a football general manager for this university. Why was that important for you to do that, and how do you feel that this school can compete in the NIL space, and sort of what assurances about that did you receive in the process?
Well, I think that, nowadays that general manager role is very different at various places around the country. And so it was important to me because of how it's looked at around the country when you're working with student athletes as well as with their agents and so on and so forth. And so I wanted to make sure that I had that role instilled in our program and give us a chance to make sure that we are approaching people the right way so that we have a streamlined way of funneling information through that GM. I'll tell you what, I think that Oregon State we are set up perfectly to compete in this NIL world. We're set up right where we need to be. I think that when looking at this opportunity, I felt like we were going to be at the top of our conference in terms of how we were going to be able to compete within our league and even as in some spaces across the West Coast and the rest of the country. So I just felt like that was a non-issue when approaching this opportunity. And last but not least, I don't know that anything's as short in life. Okay, all right. So I don't like to have any promises. That's never something that I really am intrigued with. I'm intrigued with just being in alignment with the people and what our vision is. And I think that when I looked at when I spoke with Scott and the rest of his staff, I felt like we were in alignment with what the vision is. And so we'll continue to work through all of that and make sure that it looks great for our vision.
And you're obviously a coach with a lot of offensive experience. What do you want this Oregon State offense to look like?
Well, I started my career in college on the defensive side of the ball, so I got some experience on the defensive side as well. But I'll start with this. The reason why we've been good on offense is because we know the issues that the defense creates. Okay, and so I want our defensive staff to know and understand, hey, these are the issues that cause us problems and how we would attack these issues. And so we'll be great on defense because I do have a great acumen for what that should look like. But on offense, if you look at my track record, we've done a great job of throwing the football. I attribute a lot of that to Mike Leach, the great Mike Leach. Jeff Brom, who's one of the most innovative minds in all of college football, but certainly Kalen DeBoer, who is one of the great offensive coaches across the country. But if you have one explosive play, those drives end up yielding about 4.2 points. So if you can have one explosive play each drive, now that should yield 42 points. So we'll be basing a lot of analytics on offense to make sure that we're doing the right thing for our football team.
Coach Nakrupke from Fox 12 in Portland. Having been with the Cougs, been with the Huskies, you've seen what this program can be, what it has been, and can be again. What intrigued you most, though, about just being able to make this be your team and get back to the top, and what intrigues you about the new look Pac whatever it's going to be with the 6 teams coming in next fall?
Well, what always intrigued me about this place, it was scary. I remember coming in here in 2016 with WSU, and I mean, we were getting our tails kicked, and the fans were rocking, and I'd never been here before, so I said that's a great environment. I didn't know that this existed, and then all of a sudden we're on a path to a national championship, and we got to go to Oregon State. And we knew back at the beginning of the season that was going to be a problem. We knew right away. We circled that one. Guys, we're going to have to build our schedule so that we're tough and still physically capable of withstanding the toughness that was going to be on display here at Oregon State when we came into Research Stadium. And I'll tell you what, that always has intrigued me because I try to pride myself in being a tough coach. You know, you coach receivers, and they're the pretty boys. They're the ones that want the ball all the time, and a lot of times they're considered to be the selfish ones as well. And I have never allowed that to be the case for the group that I've coached. I've always said the offensive line creates the toughness. The receivers display the toughness, okay? And so when you see receivers out there blocking their tails off, then now you know you got a tough football team. And the toughness of this entire state, the toughness of this entire community here at Oregon State, but also the resilience as we've gone through these iterations of conference changes and this new Pac-12, I felt like Oregon State just came out on top. I felt like it was in a perfect place to continue forward in this new Pac-12, but also not just be a part, but take over. Okay, this conference, and so I was excited about this opportunity because I knew we'd be at the forefront of it all.
JaMarcus, Bill Oram with the Oregonian, back here.
Bill, how you doing today?
Good. I'm not going to stand up.
That's okay.
It's your day. But just as a matter of housekeeping, what is your plan over the next few weeks in terms of where you're going to be, even months, I guess? Are you planning on remaining with Alabama for the duration of their run? What is that going to look like? And then if you'll allow me a second question as well, over the last couple of years, it's obviously been a difficult time for Oregon State in terms of like having to adjust to this new reality. What questions did you have for Scott and maybe the committee coming into this that you needed to hear to be convinced that the opportunity was as good as you hoped it would be from the beginning? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Starting off with scheduling, I'm going to get my family back to Alabama so they can continue on with school and whatnot. And so I will be back there helping the team prepare for Saturday. And then after that, to be quite honest about it, there's got to be conversations with leadership to make all those decisions. And we'll have those conversations here in short order to make sure that we're doing the right thing for everyone involved. I'm about doing the right thing for people, and so we'll figure out what that looks like so that everybody feels comfortable. As far as the questions that I had, certainly most people get hung up on the NIL piece of it. That's usually a lot of the first questions that people have. But I just wanted to know that I was going to have a partner in this whole process. I just wanted to know that Scott was ready to go to war with me. You know, you don't know what you don't know. So everybody was trying their hardest to knock me out of this process because I'd never been a head football coach before. And they're trying with a lot of ferocity to say, hey, this may not be the case. However, I'd never been a father before until, you know what, I became a father, okay, all right? And then all of a sudden, people say, hey, you're a good father, okay? But I thought to myself, how did I do that? How did I feel like I became a good father? How did I feel like I became a good husband? And, I say this to our players all the time. Y'all, Y-A-W, Y-A-W. You are who you associate with. My son is saying it as I'm saying it, okay? You are who you associate with. So if you surround yourself with a bunch of knuckleheads, people are going to consider you to be a knucklehead, okay? All right? If you surround yourself with a bunch of people that like to fight, then you better start carrying around some boxing gloves because you're probably going to start fighting, okay? I surrounded myself with great fathers, okay? All right, and that helped me become a great father. But I also surrounded myself with great men who had vision, all right, with great men who were great football coaches and head coaches, all right? But I also wanted to make sure I was surrounded by a great man who knew what he wanted out of this football program. And I think Scott, he really embodied that throughout this process. He knew exactly what he wanted, how he wanted it done, and I feel like I've associated myself with someone who's going to get this done, all right? I wanted my success to be his success and vice versa. And so any issues, my issues are his issues. And that is what I know I have in our athletic director here at Oregon State, someone who is in alignment with me.
Brenna Green, Coin 6, CBS Station, Portland. You spoke to the players yesterday. What was the message that you hoped the players received from you yesterday? And what does roster construction look like for you over the next few weeks?
I hope they receive that it's about to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard. I want to create adversity for them. I think that the best things in your life that you've achieved have come from those adverse moments and learning how to deal with adversity. I tell you what, in this day and age of NIL, some players, this will be the most money that they will have ever made in their life. I think about this all the time. It'll be the most they maybe ever make in their life. And what are they going to do when that first job comes up and they're offering them $35,000 a year for that job? How are they going to respond? Or the first time, they find out something about their child that they're not excited about, or the first time, their wife, wants to get a divorce, or how are they going to respond to adversity? And here at Oregon State, we're going to teach that. We're going to make sure they know and understand how to deal with adversity in a real way. And then we talk about roster construction. You know what? We're reviewing. I started reviewing through the process what the roster looked like, and since I've continued to review it, just to be quite honest about it, we could have filled out an entire roster for signing day tomorrow. We could have done it and filled out an entire roster, put 25, 30 kids and signed 25, 30 kids. But I do believe that a nucleus of our football team needs to come from local areas, from Oregon and within a 5-hour radius of this institution. Why? Because I think that those young men are the ones that create part of the culture. They're taking people back home for Thanksgiving. They're taking people to the lake and taking them out skiing, and they understand the landscape of the area that we're in. So they are the nucleus of what we do, all right? And then also, I think that Oregon State has been its best when it's recruited from the Bay Area and South and Southern LA. They've done a great job of recruiting elite players from those areas of the country. But also we got to tap into Utah. We got to tap into Colorado. I've had a lot of success in Vegas with Roma Dunze and Jeremy Bernard and even Derek Meadows, these young men coming from that area. So I wanted to make sure that we were able to bring kids from our footprint into the program. And you can't do that without getting to know them. You have to really understand what makes them tick. You want to know their family environments. You want to know this. Do they love football? That will be a priority on this football team. You have to love football, okay? All right, and if we can get a bunch of kids out there flying around who love this game the way that I love it, then I think we'll be able to get to the level of success that we want to achieve. But still going through the process of meeting with every player on the roster. I should have that done here in short order, but wanted to spend time with each and every one of them so I could hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. I wanted to hear everything to give us a chance to mitigate any issues that we could have going forward.
Coach Isaac Streeter in Portland Tribune. Nice to meet you. Oh, right here.
Oh, there you are, Isaac. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
With the you brought up the signing day stuff there just a moment ago. I wanted to follow back up on it. With the signing class in the state that it is currently in and the transfer portal window approaching for you guys in January, I'm curious, how much work do you guys feel like you're going to have to do through that process to get the roster to where you want it to be next August?
Well, it's no different than anybody else in the country. I mean, everybody's got the same issues. You're going to get kids that transfer. With this new iteration of the transfer portal being a one-time thing, everyone's going to have to deal with a new reality as it relates to that. And there's going to be some kids that are going to test the waters. And you know what? We have to find a way to connect with them early in this process to give us a chance to retain the players that we want to retain. That trust piece comes with three parts. It's really, having great character, and I'm going to continue to display great character. And as I hire these coaches, they will be coaches of great character. It's also going to talk about our ability to connect. We have to be able to connect with them quickly. You don't have a lot of time before that iteration of the transfer portal opens up, and so you got to find those small connections. And as I said before, it'll be through the stories, but also we have to show them how competent we are. We're gonna have a high-level, competent group of coaches who know how to develop student athletes. Some will want us to hire a whole team of recruiters. I don't think that's the best way to build out a staff. I think we need to have both good recruiters, but also men who develop, and they can see the diamonds in the rough that give us a chance to help them become the players that help us win championships. And so we'll build out a staff that way that'll ensure that as we go through this process, we're getting the right kids in here. I can't tell you how important it is to me that our team is representative of this Oregon State University's community. I don't want a team that is embarrassing our football team, our university. Okay, but I don't want them to embarrass their own families, and I don't want them to embarrass themselves. Okay, so that will be a priority to make sure that we find guys who are going to come in here and they're going to mimic the things of this university. I pride myself in trying to do the right things for the university. I expect them to do the same thing. So there's a lot of things that you have to make decisions on pretty quickly, but at the same time, I want to take my time and make sure that we get the right people here.
One more from me. You said you started your career on the defensive side of the ball, with those chops in your background. I'm curious, what are you really looking for on the defensive side when you're hiring a DC, and just kind of the culture and identity you want to create on defense?
I think it starts with I want someone who's creative. I don't want someone who's just stuck in their ways of doing things. I want them to be consistently, as you heard our president say, looking to improve. Okay, I don't want someone who says, hey, what I did last year is going to be viable for this year, because I just don't think that that's true. So I'm looking for someone creative. I want someone with a bunch of energy and excitement. I am considered an offensive guy. All right, that's great, but I need someone on the defensive side who brings that level of passion and energy as well. I love spending time with our O-line and our D-line. That's where I spend a lot of time. I go into our O-line meetings, our D-line meetings, and spend time with them even as a position coach. And so I'll definitely spend time with those groups because I think that they are the nucleus of the team. But I want our defensive coordinator to know that he has all autonomy to be the passionate coach that he should be, to allow our players to gravitate towards him and gravitate towards his energy as well. But I want someone who's called it and done it themselves, who knows how to implement a program from the ground up. I will try to take a page out of Coach Saban's book, where, a lot of times, once you implement an offense or defense, it was carried over, regardless of who the next defensive coordinator and so on and so forth is. So I also want the defensive coordinator to be excited about helping train whoever the next guy is in the building. I want him to be excited about raising who the next person is, because I believe in having a system where we're going to be able to, it's basically a farm system, Okay, once someone decides to leave here, which we hope they never leave, but it just happens from time to time. I want the next guy to be already in place and ready to go, and I think that I've identified a candidate or two that'll fit the mold for all of that.
Hey, Coach.
Yes.
Ron Callan. Beaver
Ron,
Sports,
how you doing today?
Beaver Sports Network, and I got a two-part question for you. First of all, you've been under scrutiny in a fishbowl for weeks, wondering if you're going to get offered the position, the committees. Tell us about the moment you finally got the offer, accepted it. What happened, and how excited were you?
Well, it was Thanksgiving Day. I had the entire receiving corps over at my house for Thanksgiving, as well as some of their girlfriends, and so it was very surreal, at the moment, at that time. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to happen the day before, but it didn't. Glenn had me on the hook there the day before, and when it happened, I was so filled with just pride, joy, excitement, and then my wheels started turning right away. All right, what do I need to do next? Like, this is the next thing in the process, and what did I need to do next? I needed to sit down and eat a meal with my players. Okay, my players will and always be the priority. This will never be a program that's about me. It will be about our players. So much so that I want them to share their stories throughout the community. That's what binds us all, is our stories. And so I sat down with them and had a meal with them, and then had to call my head coach and let him know that was happening and that was going to move forward. And he said, "I knew you were. I knew you'd do it, Shep. I knew it would happen to you." So I just appreciate Coach DeBoer and how he handled the whole situation. He actually announced that I was going to be the head coach here in one of our team meetings to the entire team, and to see them embrace me and just were so excited for me in that moment. That normally doesn't happen. And so I'll take a lot of pages out of his book, because he's been an outstanding mentor for me, and is someone that our relationship I've cherished since I first met him in 2013. And so I'll continue to lean on him as I go into this new stage. And again, I'm happy to be here.
And real quick, Brandon Cooks on the committee. Those of us who've been around a while know Brandon so well. First of all, I guess two things. What kind of a receiver do you think he was? How great? And what impact did he have on you as far as learning about OSU?
Oh, I mean, great receiver. I mean, he's been in the league, 12 years or something like that. He's been around some great coaches, and been around some great position coaches, and so organizations. It was funny, as we were on the Zoom, I made mention that I'd love to make a hire on the staff of a former Beeve and get him on staff, and he messaged right away, "I'll come."
In a couple of years.
and I tell him, man, go play as long as you possibly can and enjoy playing. But he has been super valuable in just letting me know the culture of this program and what it looked like before, and what they would like it to see it look like going forward as alums. And so I want to support that mission for them, and make sure that it coincides with what we want here. It's funny, Julio Jones was a receiver who was on the sidelines of games, and he was like, I was nervous to say something to the guys because I didn't know if Coach Shephard would respond appropriately, to him coaching the guys up. Julio knows the position better than I do, just so we're clear on that, okay? And the former players, they know. Steven Jackson got on the phone with me already. The Rogers brothers, they got on the phone. These guys, they know this sport as well as I do. So I truly look forward to them, that first game here like I'm asking you, come back, guys. Come support it. Be around the guys. If you want to come back and do a summer workout with them, go ahead and do it, okay? All right? I want you to be around our players and let them know how it's done at the highest level, because that's where we want to go. We want to go to the highest level here, and I know that we can do it.
Coach Shephard, Angie Machado, 24/7 Beaver Blitz. Good to meet you. Welcome.
Great to meet you as well.
A lot of the questions I was going to ask have been asked, but you've talked a lot. You've worked with some amazing coaches throughout your career, mentors. But who else or what else inspires you?
Wow, that is a outstanding question. I'll say this. When I talk about my why do I do what I do, it's really this. I think that each and every one of us approaches each day with a little bit of brokenness inside of us. Everyone has a little bit of brokenness inside of them, regardless of how you grew up, regardless of what your home environment was. Everybody has a little bit of brokenness, and I want everyone to know that you can still achieve the level of success that you want, regardless of the brokenness that you have inside. These young men walk around here and they have issues that you would never know. I've been in this position now I've been in this office now for just over 24 hours, and I already had a young man break down crying in my office already. All of them are walking around with a little bit of brokenness, and I just want to help reinforce to them that, no, you can have the type of success that you want to have regardless of that. And so that inspires me every day. I want to, I literally, it's funny, my wife kind of looks at me funny some days. I get up in the morning, I look in the mirror, and I say to myself, hey, there's someone that needs you today, big dog. They need you, and they need you now. They don't need you a week from now. They don't need you a month from now. They need you today, okay? I don't care what's going on in your life right now. Go help them. And that is what my life is all about. It's about helping people. This life is not about, the accolades. Some people get into coaching because they want to draw up X's and O's. Believe me, I have an offensive acumen that will rival anybody, okay? They get up because maybe their mom or their dad or their coach gave them an opportunity to be a coach. I've had to grind through this thing to become the head football coach at Oregon State, and I'm not going to stop grinding, okay? All right? I'm not going to stop grinding, okay? I'm going to outwork people. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to outwork the other people around here, okay? All right? Because I still believe in the value of hard work. I'm going to outwork them every single day. I'm going to put the time in, okay? Glenn called me and asked me, Shephard, are you going to work hard? And it almost made me mad, okay? Are you going to work hard? I wanted to fight him through the phone, okay? All right? You got a fighter on your hands, okay? All right? I fought for everything that I have, okay? And I'll continue to fight for the young men that are in this program. I'll continue to fight for Oregon State University.
Okay, one last question.
Hey, Coach. Brendan Slaughter, BeaversEdge.com, back here on 3. Just a couple questions for you regarding to recruiting. I'm curious, obviously, just in a general sense, your thoughts on the guys you will expect to sign tomorrow, and then ultimate, what's your transfer portal philosophy?
Great question. The guys that are supposed to sign tomorrow, looking forward to having them. These guys have been through a lot in making a decision to come to Oregon State University, and I'm just glad that they believe in my vision and what we plan to do here. And so them only getting to know me for a day or two and making that decision to come here still, it speaks volumes not to me, it speaks volumes to Oregon State. And so I just want to say congratulations to those young men, and looking forward to working with you. Unfortunately, I just forgot your second question.
Portal.
Oh, portal. Okay. And the portal, my philosophy there is we're going to try our best to find as many young men who actually have playing experience. We're going to do our best to attract those people. Now, there's also a lot of young men that the coaches that will be here have previous relationships with. They recruited them through high school, and maybe they went other places or are on their current rosters or whatever it may be, and they're looking for a new home. So prior relationships will be a priority as well, just because we don't have a lot of time, you guys. I mean, it opens up on early January, and then we start school 3 or 4 days after it opens up. And so I want to make sure that those prior relationships we're leaning on. But I've recruited across the entire country. I signed a kid out of New Jersey, New York. I got relationships. One of the top high school coaches in the DMV got a hold of me and said, "Shep, I want to send you some guys." Florida, my wife's from Florida, so I've recruited the state of Florida all up and down. Detroit, Michigan, I've sat and played cards with head coaches all throughout Detroit. Indiana, Nashville, Tennessee, those coaches they've sent me numerous kids. Hey, this kid is in the portal. This kid wants to sign with you. Texas, LA, the Bay Area. I've talked with coaches already down in LA in the Bay Area, Las Vegas, Seattle. My relationships extend across the entire country. And so, so many people have said this: "Shep, congratulations, you deserve it." And I don't think you deserve anything in life. You work for the things that you get in life. And the idea of me feeling entitled at any time, that'll never come across as how I feel. But go ahead, send me your players. I'll take them, okay? We want them, okay? Send me your guys, okay? Based on our relationship, and I'm okay with that, okay? I trust that the country is going to wrap their arms around Oregon State to make this thing great. The whole country, all these coaches, they're going to wrap their arms around Oregon State and make this thing really a tremendous experience for everybody.
All right. Thank you.
With the name on it?